Right guys, I hope you all well, and this is our Mercedes-Benz E-Class. It's a W212, so this guy will be suitable for pretty much every E-Class that is W212. Now I've seen this quite a lot on Mercedes-Benz, so it's nothing new, and I've also seen this on a previous C-Class that we had in, so I'm just going to sort of run through the same kind of things on this E-Class. You can see on the dashboard here we've got ESP Unavailable, see owner's manuals, then it flashed to run flat indicator inoperative, and we've also got the traction control lights on. So with these problems we still can run the engines, but there's a lot of fault codes, a lot of message that is flagged on our instrument panels. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and fix this. Okay, so the best way for you to solve these problems is to scan the car computer first. To scan out the fault code that started this whole thing in the first place. So according to Sentry, we head over to the electronic stability program, which is our ESP, and we see a lot of fault codes that are we can list out that the vehicle dynamic CAN bus off. We can see that the CAN line has an open circuit or short circuit, the vehicle dynamic CAN bus, and moreover we have a CAN communication with the Yaw Sensor for lateral and longitudinal accelerations. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna check some actual values on this electronic stability program. So before checking anything, I want to go through the theory first on what is a Yaw sensor. Firstly, what does a Yaw sensor do? A yaw sensor or rotational speed sensor measure a vehicle angular velocities about its vertical axis in degrees or radians per second in order to determine the orientations of the vehicles at its hard corners or threaten to rollovers. So how does a yaw sensor functions? In simpler terms, the yaw sensor is a key component in a vehicle stability control or electronic stability control systems. Yaw can be defined as the movement of an object turning on its vertical axis. The yaw rate sensor determines how far off axis a car is tilting in a turn using gyroscope to monitor the slip angle, the angle between the vehicle's heading and the actual movement directions. This information is then fed into the vehicle computers to evaluate the wheel speed, the steering angle, and the acceleration positions. And if the system sends too much yaw, the appropriate braking force is automatically applied. Now by comparing the vehicle actual yaw rate to the target yaw rate, the onboard computer can identify to what degree the vehicle may be under or oversteering and what corrective actions is required. Corrective actions may include reducing the engine power as well as applying the brake on one or more wheels to realign the vehicle. Then where is the yaw rate sensor located? The yaw rate sensor is typically located under the driver or passenger seat, mounted on the level 4 floorboard in order to assess the vehicle center of gravity. After the installations, a recalibration procedure is generally required. Okay, after the reinstallations, if the error code is still present, you need to replace the component N30/4, which is the electronic stability program control unit. So we'll head over to the actual values and choose the sensor. As you can see, the longitudinal accelerations is the actual values is exceeds our specified values. And with that being said, we're gonna check our yaw rate sensor. Okay, so with this W212, our yaw rate sensor is located under the passenger seat. Okay, so it has 4 wires, 2 power supplies and 2 for the CAN bus signals. Okay, to measure the sensor, we can either use the multimeters, or to be more precisely, we can use the oscilloscope to measure the pulse. So after checking the power supply as well as the CAN bus signal from the ESP control unit to this sensor, I can see that they are all present. We've already have a videos in details on how to measure them, but with the W212 facelift versions, so you can replay it at our playlist. Moving on to our connectors, when I unplug it, I immediately realized that there is a bypass on the connector. One of the most possible reasons is that this sensor is not fully appropriate for the vehicle, and the previous workshop has to do this in order to match the factory connector. This would lead to a manifold and message on our scanner saying that the CAN bus is malfunctioning, etc. Now, after replacing the appropriate sensor, we're gonna clear the fault code and let's take a look at the live data. When the vehicle is at standstill, there are little to none changes in the car longitudinal or lateral accelerations, and there is no fault code in the ESP control unit. So in the last step, we have to test drive the vehicle to see if there's any indicators on our instrument cluster. And as you can see, there's nothing on our panel, and I can say that our problem has been solved. So I hope you enjoyed today's videos. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we will help you as soon as possible. Till then, we really hope you enjoyed today's videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.